Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we are at property address 309 East Foothills Drive here in Newburgh, located just to the left of the front, I'm sorry, to the right of the front door. As you look at the house from the street, we have a 3-inch ABS cleanout. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water is currently running. We're going to zero the foot counter out at the base of the cleanout. And off we go.
Tell you.
All right, line just transitioned there over to 4-inch ABS, and then immediately after that, we pick up a root intrusion at a transition here over to concrete pipe. So on our way back out, we'll get that located and marked for repair. We'll see that where that's located. Just located the camera head successfully. Line terminates out on East Foothills Drive. As you face the house from the street, based on where that locate just came in there, you've got a tree the tree is sitting immediately to the right of the driveway. The line looks like it's shooting past it on its left side. Got a little bit of water still trickling to the line here. What we're in right now is city territory. This all drains off fine, though. None of that water's standing there. And as the roots currently sit, they're not doing much to affect functionality. However, roots are very unpredictable. What you never know half the time is when the root came through. Could have come through 10 years ago. That's as big as it's ever going to get. Could have come through 2 weeks ago, and it's still in the process of growing. And or sometimes homeowners are aware of their roots and they're cutting them back from time to time or burning them up with root killing foam, which can give you a skewed look. Anyway, with roots, they're one of those things I always recommend repairs on. You never know what they're going to turn into. And on top of that, especially when you've got concrete pipe deteriorates in a different manner than other stuff, like plastic, for instance. Plastic doesn't wear out, whereas concrete has a finite existence, just like your driveway does. After enough water, wear and tear goes onto it, it eventually gets roughened up and worn down. When roots plow through a joint like this, they often are slowly but surely kind of eating at the concrete, beating it up a little bit. And they can open the pipe joint up and cause the ground or the joint to become exposed to the ground beyond just the roots. They can allow groundwater to seep in sometimes, and dirt, and it can lead to hydro erosion. Generally speaking, most roots plug the pipe joint up and often keep it together. Sometimes you have happen is people will cut these things out and which gets the line free flowing, but you're also often unclogging the pipe joint, and it can really expose that pipe joint to the ground, and the joint will start sucking dirt through it, and that it'll start to drop, so you end up with a root intrusion and an offset joint. So that root is coming through, I mean, probably beyond the top half of the, it's coming through a good circumference of the pipe joint. It's not just coming through the top, it's coming to the side. So that's one to be concerned about there. Okay, so I parked the camera here halfway between the joint. Getting 6 foot 6 inches deep here. I've marked that with a green X. And that is, again, as you face the house from the street, this is in the front yard, the very front edge of the front yard. There is it looks like a sewer clean out. Actually, it is a sewer clean out. I think it was being utilized, though, for a bird bath, as I understand it. So if you're looking at the front yard, just to the right of the driveway, you'll see a 3-inch black ABS clean out. It's not actually a sewer clean out at all, but just to the right of that, directly in line with it, is where my locate's coming in there. I do recommend a repair on that to correct it. Sorry, my camera got a little gunked up going to that root intrusion. We luckily got a good shot of everything on the way out. There was one tampon caught in the line. Looks like my camera busted that thing loose. All right, I just went back through the foundation wall there. Everything from this point forward is exposed piping that the home inspector looks at down in the crawl space. Now, beyond the root intrusion, the rest of the line here, especially as it relates to what's on property, is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. I would contact the city. I know Newburgh takes responsibility out here, and I believe it's at the right-of-way. That's also right at the transition to concrete. That often takes place at the right-of-way. It's possible that may fall into city responsibility. It might not. It's worth checking, though. After any repairs are done, make sure you do a rescope to check the work. It's very important to do that, and you want to do that when the trench is closed. You're not going to catch any settling problems. That's when most of those occur, when someone doesn't compact the soil, especially during a spot repair. It's very easy to undermine soil. Good idea to do so. If for some reason the roots are not repaired, I would recommend cutting them, rescoping at about 9 months to a year to get a baseline for how quickly they're regenerating, and kind of pick and choose how frequently you want to do any maintenance cleaning.